Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the very first episode of Dare Dance Collective's Speaker Series. Dare Dance Collective, or DDC, is a dance program based out of the Potrero Hill neighborhood in San Francisco, and we're so excited to chat with professionals to help young performers learn more about the current dance and performing arts world today. My name is Madison Noelle, and I currently serve as DDC's Director of Outreach and Enrollment. I just returned from the Sesame Street Live national tour, and I'll be joining Disney Cruise Line as a performer on their ship soon. I'm so excited to introduce you all to today's guest. Our guest is Jonacy Cruz Montero, a Filipino-American movement artist born and raised in the Bay Area. Jonacy began dancing at a young age in Daly City, training in a wide variety of styles like ballet, contemporary, hip hop, modern, jazz, tap, and musical theater, as well as cultural vocabularies like Polynesian and Filipino dance. This diverse foundation gave him a unique perspective on what dance is and what it can be. He went on to earn his BFA in dance at the USC Glorya Kaufman School of Dance, where he expanded his training to include house, locking, whacking, and breaking. While at USC, he performed works by renowned choreographers such as Kyle Abraham, Desmond Richardson, and Paul Taylor, just to name a few. Today, Jonacy is a freelance artist based in the Los Angeles area, where he currently performed with LA Contemporary Dance Company. His artistry continues to grow as he builds communities through dance, creating spaces where people can learn, grow, and share together. Please join me in welcoming Jonacy Cruz Montero. Thank you so much for joining me, Baby Joe.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Of course, I'm so excited to have you here. And we actually grew up dancing together, so it's great to have this platform to learn more about what you're doing right now. So let's just hop into it. When you think back to your senior year of high school, what do you feel shaped you the most, not just as a dancer, but as a person preparing for your next chapter?
Yeah. So what I feel like shaped my senior year most, I honestly have to say was COVID happening. I feel like that set the background and like standard and foundation for me to really jump off into my college career. I think for a lot of us, COVID really slowed things down and kind of put things to a stop. And I think I had to really sit with that silence of things. A lot of the noise got blocked out and ended for me. So I kind of had to really sit with myself and reorient myself in ways that I've never really had to before. There were a lot of questions that came up, whether like I really did want to dance, whether it was possible. And generally there was just a lot of uncertainty during that time. So I personally had to find some kind of grounding and structure for myself.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot that I really like learned about myself as a person, as an artist, as a dancer. That was kind of forced through that, but on the other side, I was able to learn a lot from that.
Yeah, dude, COVID feels like so long ago, but also still like pretty prevalent, when it's mentioned again.
Definitely.
So when during that time, did you also think about maybe going straight into just company dancing, or was college always something you considered?
College was definitely something I always considered. I didn't really feel any kind of pressure to step right into a workforce or right into a company contract. I think out of high school, there was a lot that I wanted to learn still. There was a lot that I felt the need to experience before becoming a working adult. So yeah, I felt like I valued college and education a lot before entering workforce.
Yeah. If you could go back and offer a piece of advice to your high school senior self, what would it be?
I would say to fall in love with hard work. And it was never that I wasn't a hard worker, but falling in love with hard work is a whole another level of of the grind. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like being
No, I feel
it's,
like, yeah, as an
yeah, it's
artist, you got to do the work.
yeah. And it's different to
Yeah.
really like fall in love with it, to really understand that like, oh, this is a necessary part of our of our profession, as well as like this is my experience as an artist. So like I need to learn how to love it, whether it's like the good, the bad,
Yeah.
all that hard work in between. So
It's about the journey, not the destination. Yeah.
definitely.
When you did decide that you were going to USC Kaufman, when you were transitioning, was there a hardest adjustment that you had? And was it something artistically, personally, a mix of both?
Yeah, I think it was a mix of everything. I find
Mm-hmm.
that moving away from it was my first time moving away from home. It was my first time having to like make a lot of new friends again. Like I was surrounded by like a completely different group of people every day. Um, my lifestyle had changed. There was a lot more responsibility for me. So generally, I really did have to reorient myself in like in a new world. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that was really challenging for me, for everything to kind of change so suddenly. But it was also really exciting. It was also really exciting
Yeah,
because it was a chance for me to really grow into something different.
right. And I know a bit about your training pre-college, being there with you. But would you say that the Kaufman schedule was just as intensive, more intensive?
I would say just as intensive, but in
Mhm.
different ways. I think
Of course.
there was a different approach to dance, and there was so much happening. There were so many performances, creations, just studying dance in like the
Hmm.
dance history, the different vocabularies. There was so much to consume, which excited me, but it was also just as rigorous and intense as it was growing up.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that you could identify a certain moment during these college years that you realized who you were as an artist and where you want to go?
Yeah. I think when I first got there, um, I was I came in with a lot of excitement, but I also saw how amazing everybody was. And Kaufman
Mhm.
does a really great job at diversifying their cohorts in terms of experience, training background, um, and also their faculty, diversifying their faculty. And I knew that I was in a space where everybody can do everything, everybody can do all the
Mhm.
styles. And I was like, oh, this is exactly what I was looking for. This is exactly the kind of artist I want to be. I want to be able to do all the styles. I want to be able to connect to different dance communities. I want to be able to like have that platform to share with people. So I vividly remember like sitting down after that first week of school and being like, oh wow, this is where I want to be, and this is gonna help
Yeah.
me like become whatever that may be. And I think that answer of what kind of artist I want to be kind of changes every so often.
Mhm.
I like to say that like we dance how we live. So my like lived experiences kind of inform and change what kind of artist I'm aiming to be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Would you say that you had any specific faculty members that helped guide you through the process, or was it just the surplus of different and diverse community members that helped you a lot?
Yeah. I would say both. I think generally I had great relationships with my professors, and I was able to have a lot of insightful conversations with all of them. One of my main professors, though, his name's Disabela Grimes. He taught hip hop and fundamentals, and he just is one of those people that seems like they know everything. And not in a way that I'm like, oh my gosh, you know everything and you're telling me what to do. But he's just
You're
had
just
a
like
lot of,
shocked.
yeah, he had a
Mhm.
lot of informative experiences that every time I had a conversation with him where I needed to be guided into something, I had questions. I was even like anxious about my career at times. He would always be someone that was really grounding for me, and just always seemed to know the right thing to say and
Mhm.
have the right information. So he was definitely somebody that really influenced me during my college career. And I still
Yeah,
talk to him to this day. Yeah.
that's awesome. Do you feel like summers, winter breaks, or outside opportunities helped influence your growth as well? Or do you feel like the classroom growth and the mix of the outside helped a lot?
Yeah. I would say both.
Mhm.
Summers, winters, all those intensives help me kind of expand and broaden my perspective on dance.
Mhm.
Like being a part of different creation processes, or learning from different choreographers, learning from different dancers who are also in the programs, that really allowed me to step outside of the structure that was school. I think
Mhm.
there's a good combination of being a part of that rigorous structure, but also being able to experience outside of that. Um, for me, I think that's like my biggest superpower, is like to be able to experience dance in so many different ways, not just in school, not just from a particular style or community, but being able to really experience dance in such a fuller sense,
Mhm.
that's really helped shape who I am today.
Right. And when it comes to networking, um, did you have something that helped you build those connections? Was it through school or was it kind of doing these outside things that helped as well?
Yeah, it's both. I think that I was fortunate enough to be a part of a program that really uplifted and helped their students really network. But it's
Mhm.
also taking those skills and using them in other places, like those intensives in the summer or the winter. Or also, I've learned in Los Angeles specifically to like not be shy to reach out to people. Um, like take people's classes, introduce yourself after class. Like all those things are
Mhm.
really important. Going to like different dance events, different festivals where like you see your favorite choreographers and dancers, and yeah, not being afraid to really have a conversation about it. And that's
Yeah.
networking is a skill that I'm still working on, because I do get a little anxious and nervous when I'm like approaching people that I look up to, or are like potential like bosses and stuff.
Mhm.
So it's scary, but it's also necessary.
Yeah. Do you have any other advice for living in the LA area as a dancer?
Yeah, I know it sounds corny, but be yourself.
Mhm.
I think in Los Angeles specifically, it's easy to get caught up in like the social media and the Hollywood aspect, in the I need to show up for the camera and I need to be in this choreographer's face, I need to be in this dancer's face to book the job. But if we're all being genuine, honest people, like the right things will come to you. And vice versa, you'll also produce um yeah, the right things, the more fulfilling things too, as long as everything that you're doing is very honest.
Right.
Stick to
Yeah.
yourself in that way.
Oh, yeah. So now let's kind of jump to post grad and auditions. Do you remember your very first audition after graduation and anything that you were feeling, any lessons you learned?
Yeah, I remember my first audition was in Montreal, um, for a company called BJM, Ballet Jazz Montreal, and
Mhm.
it was me and a couple of my friends had went together. And I also remember I was coming off of an injury. I had injured my knee and I was just getting back into dancing. Um, so I remember being super nervous, really in my head about things. And I had gotten cut after the first round, and I remember all my friends that I was there with had stayed, and there was a moment where I felt very like sad and upset for myself, but it was also very much a learning moment for me, where I allowed myself to kind of be upset about it for like a couple hours, because I think that that's a natural part of the process. Is like when obviously when you're working towards something and you hear a no, it could initially be kind of disheartening, but and some people like try to reject that right away. I remember being like, okay, no, I worked hard for this, and it's not the result that I may have like wanted or expected, so I'm gonna let myself like feel the way that I feel about it, but not letting myself really like sit in that and letting that control how I navigate for like other auditions, or let that dictate my value as like a dancer and artist, because companies can be looking for something super specific, and it's never really that like you're not talented enough, or you're not this person, you're not that person. It's just that you may not fit what they're looking for that specific season, because it could also change from season to season. But
Right.
I remember like really reflecting on my experience after, not just the bad parts. Like I had traveled to Montreal and had my first audition, and that was a big win for me in it of itself. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I feel like definitely post auditions, the reflection after, whether there's a good, a medium, or a bad, outcome, the reflection always helps. And that always helps you for your next one that's coming up.
Definitely.
Is there one thing about the professional dance world that completely surprised you? Well, now that we're here.
Something that surprised me. I think what has been most surprising to me so far is how much of a roller coaster it is. I think no matter how much you prepare yourself for how crazy it'll be, it's like once you're in there, it's a whole nother world. It's a whole nother world. And there's nothing like experiencing it. I mean, it's definitely because I'm also more project based and freelance work. Like things are coming and going on not as much of a consistent basis as if I were in like a full-time contemporary company or ballet company. Those things, like I don't have a full season of work. So what's surprising is like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 3 months sometimes, or I have the next 4 months planned, and then another job comes up, and then things change. So I think just being project based and being a freelance artist really, really keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, can you speak more about being a freelance artist and how you find different opportunities?
Yeah. Honestly, I would say networking was the biggest thing that helps me as a freelance artist. Like being in connection with different choreographers, going to consistently going to classes where you'll be seen, not being afraid to reach out to people. Those things have been the most important thing in being a freelance artist, as well as allowing myself to be creative in my own right. I think at first I was definitely like auditioning for things, signing up for different performances, and a lot of it was me waiting. I was like, oh, I'm waiting to hear back from this job. I'm waiting to hear back from this company. I'm waiting to hear back from this gig, and that was stressful for me. I was like, oh, I'm just waiting. I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet, and I forgot to like feed myself creatively. I forgot to like, oh, I also enjoy creating things. I also enjoy to improv and freestyle on my own. I also enjoy just being able to dance. I'm like, oh, I love dance, which is like, how can you
Right.
forget?
You need that reminder sometimes.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
love to dance, and like
Right.
I can make this enjoyable for myself too. There are avenues that I can connect with that aren't external.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really helped shape my perspective as of late.
Yeah. Um, Now we touched on rejection a little bit, but do you find that you have a specific ritual or something to, help yourself deal with rejection in the industry?
Yeah. I mean, rejection is inevitable. And I think the main thing is to never take it personally.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of been my main mindset when dealing with rejection. Ritual wise, I like to journal. I think I'm the type of person that thinks a lot. So if I keep things in my head, like my brain is gonna run wild. It's gonna keep on rolling down and have this crazy snowball effect, and I'm just gonna kind of keep digging myself into a hole. So what really helps me is being able to journal, to get all the thoughts out, to write it down. And
Mm-hmm.
I find myself like writing things down. And I'm like, oh, that actually isn't totally true. Like what was going on in my head, or like that's not really how it went down, or maybe I was overreacting a little. So
Yeah.
there's a lot that I learn about myself through journaling, and that's something that really centers me back into reality a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that you have a good dance community around you, friendships wise, mentors wise, that help you also get through that rejection as well?
Definitely. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, having a lot of my friends being dancers, being a part of USC, like there's always going to be a family that I could reach out to. But knowing that there's other people in my life that are going through the same experiences, who have similar experiences of like dealing with rejection, dealing with injury, dealing with all the things that come with our industry, it's definitely helpful to be able to talk about that with people who understand.
Yeah. Did you ever have a moment just after post grad where you were questioning what your path was and what helped you keep going?
Definitely. I definitely did.
Yeah.
There was actually a period of time post grad where right out of graduation, I had no idea what I was going to do. I had no contracts lined up, no projects lined up, and I was like, okay, we're gonna stay in LA and figure it out, I guess. And luckily, a company had reached out to me. The company I'm currently with, LA Contemporary Dance, the artistic director Jamila Glass. We'd had a conversation like a few months before graduation, and I didn't think too much of it. I was like, okay, that was a great conversation to have. And then lo and behold, she reaches out to me, and I got a contract for one of their projects that they had. And I think that's a testament to just being patient and to continue like believing in yourself. Um,
Mhm.
I like to have a lot of faith in that. I'm As long as I'm being a good person, I'm being a genuine person, I'm being an honest person, and I'm still working hard at my craft, that the things will come. That the
Right.
projects, all the jobs, like those will come over time. I just have to maintain like myself. That's the only thing that I can control. Um,
Mhm.
so I try to let go as much as I can. I think that's the biggest thing for me to be more in control, is for me to let go a little bit.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you've talked about journaling helps ground you. Do you have any
Mhm.
other things outside of dance that help ground you as a person to, keep you excited for continuing dancing artistry in the industry?
Yeah, I think investing in yourself as a person outside of dance is extremely important. And that's something that I've had to learn over time, because I love dance. Like I love to dance. I love anything about dance. Like I love learning about dance every day. And like to a certain extent that became my identity. But with that is when things don't go right in dance, that could become the most devastating thing, because you like eat sleep dream dance, which is important to be invested in your craft, but also invest in yourself outside of that, because dance is always going to be there, but it's gonna be up and down. Just that's just how life goes. It's always going to be changing and shifting. So to really be grounded in yourself as a person, to have outside interests to feed yourself, to really take care of your mental and emotional self, like really invest in yourself as a person. Like I enjoy, like, just even if it's something as simple as like listening to music, finding different music. Lately I've been going to like different parks around my area to like decompress, to spend time outside, outdoors. um, Being able to kind of step into to different avenues of life, like I work a retail job right now, and
Yeah.
so like that's a part of the grind, but also like I work at a hat store, and I like collect hats now. So it's kind of something that also feeds me, like, on a personal level.
Yeah. Making sure that you know who you are also helps you identify who you are as an artist and how you're growing.
Always.
Now that you are a little bit more experienced, um, do you have specific things that you look for when looking for projects and jobs to make sure that they align with your values, or if it's worth auditioning for?
Yeah. I feel like I'm still fairly new to this, like, to this game. I'm early in my career still, so I am figuring those things out. I think what's important is alignment. Like, being very rooted in what you do value, and really, yeah, understanding what it is that you really want to do. Like, ask yourself the questions of, like, what work are you trying to do, what goals do you have, um, what what kind of career are you trying to pursue, um, and really do your research on how to get there. That's the main thing. It's like, oh, I want to do X, Y, and Z, and it's how can I set myself up for that? How do I create leverage for myself to become that artist that I want to become? And a lot of that is really just understanding, one, what your values are and what you want to what kind of artist you want to portray, or not portray, but like what kind of artist you want to be, and
Mhm.
figuring out how to get there, and then seeing that, like, what companies, what choreographers, producers, dancers, other artists that like are aligned with. And sometimes that means saying no to things, which is
Mhm.
hard, especially as a freelance artist, when you're like, oh, I want to be working, I want to get a paycheck, I want to be dancing. Sometimes it's hard to say no, and you're going to be doing work that you're like, okay, I'm going to do it because I need to get the bills paid, which
Yeah.
is which is which is a big part of it. But at some point, you have to fill yourself. Um, yeah, you have to just continue to feed yourself as a person, as an artist, and you could only do so much that you're like unaligned with.
Right.
That like I believe, like, that would drive me crazy if I'm just always doing work that I don't value, um that I just don't align with. It's like,
Yeah.
it's always gonna feel like a bump and grind.
Yeah,
And
like we get one life,
yeah,
so let's make sure that we're doing what we want. Yeah.
exactly.
If you could define success for yourself now, um, how would you describe it?
Yeah, success to me is honestly just being happy and fulfilled now. I think I've always said this, but I'll be wherever dance takes me. So really understanding what that means, and what comes with that, allows me to live that fulfilled life. I think that success isn't me getting this job, this contract. Um, Success is being able to really live in the life that I'm living and enjoying it. Like, I have the opportunity to travel. I have the opportunity to dance. Like, I'm living the dream now.
Right.
And like, whether it was everything that I dreamt of or not, like, this is exactly what I asked for, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. I think living in that gratitude is super important.
Mm-hmm. What are you most excited for in this next chapter?
Yeah, I'm excited to continue figuring out who I am as an artist, to continue to establish myself as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
I had these event series that I did in college, and I'm excited to be picking that up again and being a producer, a creator, allowing myself to run wild creatively. I think that's what I'm most excited about in
Wow,
this
that's awesome.
upcoming phase of life.
Yeah. Okay, now we'll get into just a few questions from the high schoolers that we have. What's one strategy you'd give to dancers who are just starting their audition journey?
I would say, I would reiterate again, don't take things personally.
Mm-hmm.
Two, let go of the control. The only thing you can control is yourself. That's the only thing you can control. So,
Right.
like I said before, as long as you're working hard and being a great person, the things will follow. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's easier said than done, but like have faith in that. Have faith in who you are. That the things will follow as long as you yourself are doing as much as you can to set yourself up.
Yeah. And now, where do you find that most of your work comes from? I know we touched on this a little bit, but auditions, networking, or social media?
Right now, in my phase of my career, I would say networking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, do you feel like marketing yourself as an artist is super important, and how do you do that?
Definitely. It's very important to market yourself as an artist. Um, I think nowadays people really look for both an artist and a person. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
the times, companies or choreographers, like, they don't want just you as a dancer. Like, they're going to be rehearsing with you for hours, for weeks, days, months, and it's important that you're a person that they want to be in the studio with. So I think it's both important to market yourself as a dancer, but also to like carry yourself as a person that wants to be in the studio, that would be enjoyable to work with. Um, but how to market yourself as a dancer? I think the biggest thing right now would be social media, like
Mm-hmm.
really posting anything, like post videos of you freestyling, post videos of you in process, post pictures of process. Um, Everything that you do as an artist, post it. And that's something I
Mm-hmm.
struggle with too, because I get a little bit of anxiety, like, oh, this person's not gonna like it, it's not getting this many likes, it's not
Yeah.
getting all these views, which is the Instagram, specifically Instagram or TikTok, all the social media algorithms are just wild. You never know what's gonna happen. But there's gonna be somebody that finds your work and will reach out and be like, I really enjoy what you're doing. um, I have this thing happening in a couple months. Would you like to be a part of it? I'll send over a contract for that. And
Mm-hmm.
that wouldn't have happened if you weren't posting anything. Like
Right.
a lot of people now, honestly, a lot of my bosses now have been like, "Oh yeah, I saw your Instagram that you did this," or I've seen your social media and that's why I've I hired you through that, because I saw, like, Instagram kind of becomes your portfolio
Mm-hmm.
of things. So yeah, I
Yeah.
was that's a great start.
Would you say that having a website is important or reels as well?
A reel is definitely important, and a website is
Mm-hmm.
also very important. I haven't had the chance to make one yet, but it's great to have like a central hub with all the
Mm-hmm.
work that you've either been a part of or created. It's always great to have something simple and consumable and accessible for people to really see things. A website is a great resource for that, but also reels are incredibly important, to really show, either if it's a choreographic reel or a performance reel. It's giving snapshots of who you are as an artist or as a creator. And those things are also allowed to change. I think sometimes we get caught up in, oh, it has to be extremely perfect. I want to show this, this, and this, but those things are allowed to change depending on like who you're sending it to, who's going to be seeing it, how much you've changed, what you value or no longer value. So those are kind of like living documents, living hubs of your like portfolio that are extremely important in representing yourself.
Yeah, and then our last question from our high schoolers. Would you say that a lot of your auditions are through like online avenues, or are they a good mix between in-person and online?
So far I haven't had to do like an online audition.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to like submit applications and stuff for certain jobs, but for the most part, my auditions have been in person. But I think that also kind of changes and varies depending on the land.
Depending on companies, yeah.
Yeah, and also like Zoom auditions weren't a thing pre-COVID. Like not a lot of people really did online auditions unless it was like applications that you're submitting. So that's definitely changed within recent years that more people are having online auditions or posting Zoom auditions. Those are definitely like a newer thing that's starting to pop up, and I think the occurrence of that's going to continue to change depending on the landscape of the world and what companies prefer, because some companies really enjoy that, like, oh, I don't have to spend money on hosting this huge worldwide audition. I could just have it on a Zoom screen and everyone can be cool with that. So it really depends. I think that's something that's always going to change, but I think there's nothing like an in-person audition. So.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. I do feel like we're going to get to our last question now. If you could leave our listeners with just one piece of final advice, something you can carry beyond dance, what would it be?
I'm gonna reiterate on the being true to yourself. Like be very honest with yourself. Be a very honest person, and continue to just discover yourself and let yourself be you unapologetically. Like if you are honest and genuine to the fullest extent, there's nothing wrong that could happen. Like you'll be able to deal with rejection, with all these negative things happening, and you're like, as long as I'm a good person, as long as I know that I'm being true to myself, the world is going to be the world. And like all your interactions and relationships, not just with people, with different things, with different experiences, like will change. You'll notice like, oh, like I'm less anxious because I don't have to worry about putting up a front. I don't have to worry about being something that I'm not, and like maintaining that mask. It's like I'm gonna be myself and take that as it is. So
that is amazing. Thank you so much, Baby Joe, for joining us. I really just love to learn about what you're doing and, you know, how you're bringing yourself to the work. It's not about just the dance. It's about who you are and what you can bring to it. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us at Dare Dance Collective Speaker Series. We'll see you at the... Well, I'm going to redo that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for Dare Dance Collective Speaker Series. We'll see you at the next one.